Well, look who's in the studio talking some action sports with our guy, Tyler Tate. Tyler, welcome back into the 120 Sports Studios. Good to have you home.
It's so good to be back home.
You were in Boston, my friend, checking out the FIS Big Air contest at Fenway Park. Just tell me about the riders, what they were saying about the whole atmosphere and the whole week's festivities.
Well, the riders just thought it was amazing. First off, like the minute I walked in, you're in this iconic venue. You're
Fenway
in
Park.
Fenway Park, where you're used to seeing the Red Sox play. And you've got a 150-foot tall ramp that dominated the skyline. It's taller than the monster. You talk to the riders afterwards, he says, well, how was it? Because he had to build it out of scaffolding to create this thing. You're not building it into the hill.
Sure.
So you have to have a man-made ramp, and they loved it. They absolutely loved the ambiance that the stadium created. You know, the crowd being right there at your feet when you land, and they surround you in this stadium. You know, the crowd was just electric, and the riders absolutely loved it. They could not say enough about how awesome this venue was.
Yeah, I got to think the visual too, right? Just of seeing it above the skyline. I mean, if it's dominating the skyline, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, people talk about how tall the Green Monster is when you play baseball out there, when it looks tiny compared to the overall size of the ramp. You know that this was just an absolutely insane event.
Very cool. Now, Julia Marino had a week that she'll probably never forget. Tell us about her crazy week.
So on the women's snowboard side, one of the headliners was Ty Walker. She's from the East Coast. She was one of the brand ambassadors of what, you know, the Big Air event was going to be. In practice, she went down and she actually broke her T7 vertebrae. Really hard crash. So Julia Marino, who was scheduled to be the forerunner, so the very first person to run down, kind of intro what the event is and be the first runner down the course. It allows the runner to also get a lot of practice. So if they're new to the event, they can practice to get themselves further into their careers to where they can be into the main competition. So Julia was scheduled to just be the forerunner. When Ty broke her back, Julia's in the contest.
Wow.
So she goes from just originally scheduled to just be the forerunner to deciding what 3 runs that she wanted to do with this new format. And then she goes from forerunning, trying to figure out what she wanted to do, to winning the event, stomping all 3 runs, mind you. All 3 she landed. It was incredible.
So she goes from not being in the competition, just being there, and now winning the event.
Winning the event, and I caught up with her afterwards, and she was just ecstatic.
I came here just as a forerunner, and I just was coming here with the plan to just practice on a big air jump. On a scaffolding, something I've never hit before, so it was more just for the experience and for the training for future big air events to come for me. But when I found out I got in last night, I was like, the plan just changed completely, and I had to actually, get down, get serious, and think of a run or think of 3 runs that I wanted to do. And I was pretty nervous because the jump, it is intimidating for how steep the drop-in is and how quick the compression to the drop-in to the jump is, but I was able to kind of at some point just control the nerves and put down my runs, and I'm so stoked. It's so cool to be competing in a baseball stadium. It's like the coolest snowboarding venue that you could have. It's so creative and unique and so fun, and it opens up the snowboarding sport to so many people who don't know about it much, and to bring it to a city where people are just stoked to watch you. It's really cool. The fans are amazing, and it was cool to just be landing tricks, and the crowd was going wild. It was a pretty awesome experience.
All right, so Tyler, we know we got the Olympics coming up in 2018. Just what about Fenway? What can translate from Fenway to the Olympics?
So the 2018 Olympics is the first time, so they're in South Korea. It's the first time that big air is being introduced into the Olympic discipline. Only on the snowboarding side, though. It's ridiculous that they didn't add skiing into it. They just took snowboarding. The snowboarding big air has a longer history, so it wasn't like a big surprise, but it was still a huge bummer that both weren't put in. So when you look at what can translate from Fenway to there, it really comes down to the women in big air, because this is the first time women have ever been able to compete in a big air contest. It's a men's only event out of X Games where this continues to grow. I mean, you have Aaron Style that Shaun White has with his big air contest, but X Games is really the place where it progresses, and it's only a men's only event. So as you look towards 2018 Winter Olympics, the women now have an opportunity to grow and practice because they're on a lower level than the men. And it's not because they can't do it, it's because they don't have the venue to be able to do it at. That's where the main storyline looking towards the Olympics has to come from. And the men, they'll just continue to grow and progress. I mean, the level of riding that continues to be shown in Big Air, this is where the progression happens.
Wow.
In Big Air and in the slope style competition is where the progression of riding and the newest tricks will always be found, and it's where it's going to push the sport to a new level.
Going to be very cool. Winter Olympics in 2018.
2018.
Can't wait. You'll be there. When we come back, more with Tyler and also some big news on Travis Pastrana that I know you have for us.
It's a game changer.
We'll tell you about that. Stick it right here. Keep it at 120 Sports.